We're live. Oh God, I'm gonna regret everything about this decision. But hi, welcome back. I have a very interesting guest with me today. This is Nikki. Nikki, say hi.
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 I got a deep voice, sorry.
He is the famous Islander fan I bash in all my shows.
Good to be here.
So, oh my god, this is crazy. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the NHL second round of the playoffs. Would you like to start us off?
Okay.
Oh God, okay.
Should we start with the Islanders?
I mean, I guess I have to get them over with, right?
Okay. So, pretty much, I think we have a real chance to win it. But I'm not looking too far ahead. I'm looking at the second round only. Home ice is important. We got that against Carolina. We beat them 3 out of 4 times in the regular season. And they don't have as much high-end players as other teams do. And we just beat the Penguins, who are loaded with talent. So I think that it might be even an easier series.
I don't think so. Because the Penguins are old and Carolina has younger people.
Yeah, but they just played a 7-game series. 2 of the games went to overtime. Game 7 went to double overtime. They played a lot of hockey. They're banged up.
Yeah, but you have to take into consideration the adrenaline that they're going to be on.
Yeah, but that's going to die. So maybe game 1, they'll be riding that, and we'll be rusty because we haven't played in 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
But if it goes long, if it goes 6 or 7, that's a big advantage for us because we'll be a little bit fresher, and we definitely got the better coach. We definitely got the better goalie, and we got home ice. So I think that's a lot of advantages for us. If we were going to play Washington, it would have been a little tougher not being on home ice. They've got high-end players like Ovechkin that we don't have to worry about anymore. Yeah, we don't have to worry about them. And the other thing is, it's a small thing, but Washington is a lot more physical compared to Carolina.
Yeah, true.
And our defense is small, so I feel like they'd get worn down over a long series against a physical team. Pittsburgh wasn't physical at all, and we kind of took that to our advantage, and I think that was good for us. Carolina's a similar team. They're not very physical. They're not big up front. And we're missing, actually, Boychuk, who's one of our better defensemen, who is a physical guy, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem.
I'm annoyed. Go Canes, go. It's true.
No.
I'm annoyed.
I mean, the Islanders doing good. It's rare, so I'm happy. I'm just enjoying the ride.
Rare? You guys had like a decently well season.
Oh, we had a great season, but
that's so
I feel like no one believed in us. No one's believing in us still.
Oh,
so it's good to be the underdog. I like it. We always will be, really. So
I really thought the Penguins were going to at least win at least one game.
Yeah, we played our. So the way that went was, I said it going in. I was talking to a friend, and I said if we play our way, which is a physical game, low scoring game, no power plays, we'll win that game. We'll win that series.
And who was this friend you were talking to?
You don't know. I don't know. It's on Twitter. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we play our style of play, we'll win that series. We played that style 3 out of the 4 games, and the one game we played more of a shootout type game, high scoring game, we ended up winning that in overtime. That was game 1, so that kind of like started us off well, and then we got to our style of play and took it from there, and we swept them.
You didn't even wear any Islander gear today.
No, I didn't. I don't know.
It's not even the Rangers are not, and like I still.
Yeah, they haven't played in months because.
You haven't played in months. All right. I'm sick of the Islanders. Don't want to hear about them anymore. What about
Friday? Be there, Barclays Center.
I'm sick that day. What about the Vegas playoff series?
That was crazy. So, I mean, I'm going to bring back to the Islanders real quick. the Islanders played the Red Wings last year,
Mhm.
and it was a similar game, but it wasn't Game 7 of a playoff series. So it was So what happened was in the Vegas Game 7 against San Jose, there was a cross check. Vegas was up 3-0 with like 10 minutes left or so, and there was a cross checking penalty on one of the Vegas players that they called a 5-minute major for, which I didn't think it was. But what happened was the San Jose player Pavelski hit his head on the ice. It was like an awkward fall. He was off balance, and he hit his head on the ice, and he was out cold. But I don't think the refs saw the cross check. They just saw Pavelski lying on the floor unconscious.
Mhm.
So they kind of just went off of that and called it a 5-minute major. So San Jose had 5 minutes of power play time, and they ended up scoring 4
Yeah.
on it to take the lead. Vegas ended up tying it with like a minute left to force overtime, but San Jose won it with like a couple minutes left. A fourth line player that didn't get a lot of ice time ended up winning it. But that was one of the craziest games because San Jose had no life until their captain goes down. It kind of like sparked them. The power plays helped being up 5-on-4, but
Yeah.
it was a crazy game.
No, that was a good game. I missed the actual game. I was catching up on Game of Thrones, but I watched all the highlights, and it was pretty intense. You got that feeling just from watching the highlights. I can't even imagine like the whole entire game.
Yeah, and San Jose is good, and I think if Pavelski's healthy,
Yeah,
going into the second round, they should be the favorite to come out of the West.
I think they're going to be the favorite right now just because of the series that they had with Vegas.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
Colorado's tough, but if you stop McKinnon, you got a good shot, and they've got the better goalie.
Yeah,
and home ice. That's a big thing for me.
Oh yeah, because you have home ice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I was quite sad about the Dallas-Nashville. No, I'm not sad. I don't know.
You should be happy.
I know. It's like such a mixed kind of feeling. Like I was kind of happy when Nashville scored, kind of happy when Dallas scored. I didn't know where I wanted to be, because obviously, if anyone listens to this show and knows me, they know Nashville is like my second team, my go-to. But like Dallas has Zook, Tyler Seguin. I like Jamie Benn, and I don't know. I just think I just
and
like.
You get
Dallas.
a first round pick if they get to the third round, so
yeah,
it's important in that way.
No, it is important, and yeah, I get it, but it's just like my mom's upset. My mom watched the game with me
because Nashville lost,
and she's going to Nashville like next weekend. So yeah, she's like, "This is gonna be my first year going and not seeing
and they're
like
not in it.
Playoff hockey." I'm like, "All right, Mom," but
it stinks.
Yeah, so it was like a bittersweet thing, but I am happy for Zook and Dallas. Like I'm not totally mad about it. And I think they need to get a little tougher. It was kind of just, it wasn't like as an exciting of a series as I'd hoped it to be.
Yeah, they play a similar style to the Islanders where it's just grind it out.
Yeah.
And just score one more than the other team.
That's literally what it was.
2-1, not 5-4 games.
No, it was very low scoring. Yeah, Game 7 was 1-1 until
overtime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, for sure. I'm very interested, actually, I kind of know your opinion on the Toronto series.
Great stuff here.
Should you explain a little bit?
Well, basically, Toronto is not good.
And why aren't they good? They have Austin Matthews.
That's about it. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Frederik Andersen. That's about it.
You're missing a very key player to the Toronto Maple Leafs team.
Yeah, real key if they lost in the first round.
I'm talking about the one, the only, John Tavares.
I don't recall that name.
You love him.
He's dead to me.
You love him.
I've actually moved on. So.
Oh, what? No, you have not.
Yes, I have.
Have not. That is a lie.
I've moved on.
Oh, okay. Let me hear.
Well, it's a weird one. So obviously he left.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and a lot of Islander fans are kind of getting roasted because they're complaining that he left, which he had every right to leave. It's not. We're not upset that he left. We're upset of how he handled the situation and how he left, which is basically all throughout last year. He was saying, "I want to stay. Don't trade me at the trade deadline," even though we could have gotten draft picks for him. He basically said that I'm going to resign. And then he goes into July 1st free agency and he leaves. to go to his hometown team, which everybody expected him to do once he got to July 1st and took those meetings with the Maple Leafs and other teams. So Islander fans were just angry that of how he left, not the fact that he did leave. But we got a little revenge back on him in February when he first came back to the Coliseum and we beat them like 6-1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
We booed him out of the building. Threw a couple of he got a couple of plastic snakes thrown at him. Nothing hit him, but they threw him on the ice during warm-ups. It was a crazy scene.
That was so mean, though.
It was awesome.
That was awful. The guy
He
did so
it.
much for your team.
He didn't do anything. We've gone to this point. We've gone to the second round of the playoffs once with him, and the first year without him, we get to the same spot. So
I get it, and I think it also kind of helped you guys. Like, not that that was your motivation, because obviously you guys want to win, but I'm saying like that had to be like a big key push, because you guys lost such a key component. Yeah. You guys had to like work other ways.
Everybody doubted us with him, and then when we lost him, everybody figured we're going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
But what they didn't take into consideration was the coach that we brought in, the general manager that we brought in.
Yeah.
They've both won cups. Trotz just won a cup. And I think Tavares leaving motivated the guys who were here because it's basically the same team.
Mm-hmm.
You basically just took Tavares off the team. You brought in a couple depth players, but it's basically the same team that he left.
Yeah.
So they were all friends with him. They went to his wedding like a week after he left. So like they're all tight. They're all close. But they understood that the media and other teams around the league were doubting them. And I think they were motivated by that.
Yeah.
And I think Barry Trotz
helped
let them know about that too and motivated them because he's great at that. I think that helped. So yeah, but I'm glad that Toronto's out. I didn't want to face them in the third round because that could have happened. I think if they beat Boston, they would have beat Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we beat Carolina, then we're facing off in the conference final, and I don't think I'd be able to handle that.
Whoa. Slow your roll on conference finals. Slow it down. They, I don't know. I think I had to start rooting for the person that I didn't want because that's the way this playoff series is going.
Up and down.
It has just been
down.
Everyone you think is going to be is like completely not what happened.
It's wide open. I think.
Exactly.
I think any of the 8 teams could win it, and I think that's great because going into the playoffs, everybody kind of figured Tampa Bay was going to make it to the final at least, and they didn't even win a game. It was crazy.
And look where that ended up happening for Tampa Bay. Everyone's bracket ruined, destroyed.
And even on the other side, Calgary was the number 1 seed in the West, and they only got to 5 games against Colorado. It was pretty simple for Colorado.
That was surprising to me. Yeah. I mean, obviously Tampa Bay was the most surprising, but I think that one.
But Columbus is good on paper. They're a good team.
Columbus played phenomenal. And what's funny is like their last game to get in. I don't know if there was their last game, but it was our last game, the Rangers.
Right. And they had a win to clinch.
They had a win and we gave them, they won eventually, but it was like a tied game for like the longest time.
And it was like the second to last game of the season. So they left it late. And
yeah.
But I think they made a lot of deadline trades.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it took a little time for them to gel and get the chemistry.
Yeah.
But once they did, and it seems like they did, they look dangerous. I think they could give Boston a good series.
I was just shocked at like, I was doubtful because just for the fact that if we almost stop them, you know what I'm saying? If we almost beat them and we were not great, right. But like that was like doubtful for me. I was like, yeah. Okay, they'll get washed by Tampa Bay. It'd be so easy,
yeah.
But
if you have a hot goalie, you could do anything really. Bobrovsky's been great.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay, I think they blew a 3-0 lead in game 1. It feels like their confidence was just shot.
I don't know why though. Like literally, they literally just stopped playing. That's what it felt like.
It seemed,
watching.
I think what happened is a couple things, but Tampa Bay locked up first place like 55 games in. So they were playing meaningless hockey for the last like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to turn on the switch right after the regular season ends into the playoffs.
That makes sense.
And Columbus was playing for their lives for the last couple months.
Yeah.
So between that and the fact that they acquire Matt Duchene and a couple other guys, it takes some time to get the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But once they did, it seems like they clicked, and they could go on a long run here.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for them over Boston just because Boston's not a good matchup for the Islanders. So hopefully that goes our way too.
And why not?
They Boston plays a similar style to us as far as grind you out, defense first. But the difference is they've got high end players to do that. Guys
Mhm.
like Bergeron, Pasternak, Marchand. We don't have those kinds of offensive players. So when they get a power play, they're going to take advantage of it where we won't
Yeah.
as often. And they probably have the better goalie too. Tuukka Rask has killed us
Mhm.
throughout the years, so that could be a problem for us.
He's really good.
Yeah, so I'll and also Columbus will have home ice. Boston we won't, so it's kind of two-sided there.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like everyone. I don't think anyone could have predicted this like the playoffs and
No, it
how
was
they were
crazy.
going to turn out.
Even Calgary, Winnipeg, they're all out. Vegas, everybody loved going into the season, and they made a couple trades at the deadline. Got Mark Stone,
Yeah.
and it was controversial, obviously, how they lost, but they're out.
Oh yeah, and all the Vegas fans
Yeah.
flipped
Washington
out.
too. They just lost. So
Yeah, but they put up a fight.
yeah, but Carolina on paper is not as good as what like
it's
I don't know.
it's the underdog of the series. Yeah, for sure.
And Oshie getting hurt was a big loss.
Yeah, I feel like not that had everything to do with it, but
I
had
mean,
a lot to do with it.
But I mean, they were up 3-1 in the second period of Game 7. You just got to close that out, and they blew it. That was surprising to see.
Yeah,
I think Barry Trotz not being there is a big factor in that.
I watched them score the first two, and it was like going into and I was like, oh, okay,
yeah, it was still the first period. I felt like it was over.
So I watched something else, or I think I was finishing up a project. I don't know. But then like I turned it on. I was like, and then you were like, oh, put on the overtime game. And I was like, what? Overtime? Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was surprising that they blew that lead, but I people don't take into account how much a coach matters.
Yeah.
And they just let Barry Trotz go. And it's benefited us, obviously, but I think it hurt them a lot too.
All right, let me pull up the playoffs, and then we're gonna give our who we think.
Cool.
Where's that? Where can I find it? 2019. Let's go. Okay. Dallas or Blues?
I'll be rooting for the Blues.
You'll be rooting for the Blues.
Just so the Rangers don't get that first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Blues will win. I think they have better forwards. Defense is probably the same, but they've got a goalie who they called up midway through the year, Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
Who has been on fire all year. And I think he's going to continue that. And they should win, I'll say, in 7 games.
I say Dallas just for the fact because we need them to win. Zook, Sagan, all my guys. Yeah. Love them all. Okay. Thank you. Next. So, Colorado or San Jose?
I think that's going to be a tougher one because San Jose just, if Pavelski's out, that's a big loss.
Yeah.
And they just played 7 games, last 2 going to overtime. Colorado's been waiting for them. Colorado's got Nathan McKinnon, who's I think one of the top 5 players in the league, and he showed that against Calgary. I think it's going to be a closer series than people think, but I'll take San Jose in 7 games.
I say Sharks. Okay. Columbus or Boston?
That's a tight one too.
I say Columbus.
Columbus. I think that could be. I think that could happen. They're a really deep team. They're deeper than Boston. They probably got the better goalie.
Oh yeah.
But the other thing to consider is, are they going to be rusty because they're in a similar spot as Colorado and the Islanders, where they haven't played in 10 days and they're facing a team that just finished off a series.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a tight one also.
But your vote is?
I'm going with Columbus.
Okay,
yeah.
Same. And then the Canes versus the Islanders. I'm going to pick the Carolina Hurricanes on this one.
Isles in 5.
I think. Oh, you gave us a game. A game
5
to go
games.
by.
5 games. I think we're going to shake the rust off early in game 1. and we're a healthier team. We're a deeper team. We've got a better goalie, better coach, home ice. I think we got this. 5 games.
Go Canes, go. All right. Well, that was it. That was our picks. That was our playoff recap. So I hope everyone liked it. And thanks for coming on my show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Bye.